Lodi. Ayan, sir.
So, good afternoon to everyone. Good
Good
afternoon
afternoon,
mga
sir.
Good afternoon po mga ka-EdukTrends. Good afternoon. So, another fruitful day. Ano po? So, we are going to start another lesson which has something to do with action research made easy for teachers. So, ready na ba ang lahat? Patingin nga kung ready na ang lahat. Mag-comment nga kung ready na. This is very useful especially sa public school. Gamit na gamit ang action research. So, if everyone is ready, so let's start. So, I am Ricardo C. Ahillon Jr., your speaker for today. So, background for myself, ano po, as a speaker's info, again, my name is Ricardo C. Ahillon. Pakitandaan po, paulit-ulit po yan lalabas. Ano po, my name. So, I'm Ricardo C. Ahillon Jr., a licensed professional teacher since 2017. I also finished my final oral defense, earning the degree of Master of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management. So I have also the certified Lean Six Sigma White Belt professional for the management, together with the Six Sigma Yellow Belt professional. And I am a teacher from Tadlac Elementary School, from the District of Cardona, Division of Rizal. Ano po? So, hello po sa mga co-teachers ko from Tadlac Elementary School na nanonood po ngayon. And then, I am the Vice Chair for District Enthusiasts and Advocates for Research in the District of Cardona. So, ayan po ang aking background. So, let's start about action research. Now, kung mapapansin niyo po, my PowerPoint presentation will start with a heart. Why? Bakit kaya heart? Webinar series tapos sa heart magsisimula. Of course, we teachers are the heart of education. We play a vital role inside the school. We are the facilitators of learning because we teach the future professionals in our society. We are the arm of the government to touch the lives of the children. We have our purpose right. Let us go back to the reasons why we get this profession and start thinking, nakakatulong ka ba as a teacher sa ikauunlad ng bansa? As we experience right now, napakaraming mga bata ang hindi marunong magbasa. Unlike before. Diba? So, there's a problem. There's a problem with us as teachers. There's a problem with the curriculum that we are using. So, we as teachers should patch the gap between what is and what ought to be. As we all know, to our profession, teaching has something to do with innovation. And innovation is intertwined with research. Pero bakit maraming teachers ang ayaw mag-research? It is because even you nanonood ngayon, takot mag-research, it is because you are afraid of innovating yourself. So, why teachers should make a research? Bakit nga ba kailangan mong mag-research? Now, I have here the reasons. Kung makikita nyo po, nakikita nyo na po ba? Ayan po. We have the PISA 2018 results, or PISA stands for Program for International Students Assessment 2018 results. It has something to do with the snapshot of students' performance in reading, mathematics, and science. Ayan po, na-i-box ko na sa ilalim. Kung hindi nyo po makita, medyo blurry yung picture kasi parang talagang na-i-emphasize yung Philippines. Actually, kung titignan nyo po, yan pong list na nasa harapan nyo po ngayon, nasa screen niyo, pang 79 po ang Philippines. 79 among how many countries in terms of reading, mathematics, and science? napakababa kung tutuusin ng ranking natin sa PISA. That's 2018. Ano po? 2018. Today is 2020. 2020 kung saan marami tayong kinahaharap. Ngayon, haharapin na naman natin ang panibagong yugto ng buhay sa classroom na kung saan we're not going to teach inside the classroom. We are going to teach in the new normal. Ayan, kung makikita ninyo, that is the reason why we need to make or to conduct a research. Dahil sa reading, mathematics, and science, we're on the 79th place. Napakababa. And medyo nakakatakot po yung 2018. 2018, as we go back, it is my first time to teach in the public school. Yan po yung taon na ako ay nagturo sa public school. Now, medyo nakakatakot. It is because noong 2018, I was part of the public school. Tapos lumabas yan. Ibig sabihin, hindi ako nakakatulong. Even me. Pero wag kayong mag-alala. It is not because hindi lang 2018 results yan. According to the World Education News of 2018, the educational standards in the Philippine education system is declining during the first decade in the 21st century. Ibig sabihin pala, hindi lang noong 2018 bumaba. It is nakalagay a first decade in the 21st century from 2000 to 2010, kung di ako nagkakamali. And it is continuing until right now. So, anong nangyayari? Actually, if you're entering the graduate school program, especially yung mga nilalabas ng graduate schools ngayon, they have problem with the conducted researches. Kasi kakaunti. Actually, ang nabalitaan natin sa news, we have only 2 schools or 2 universities na kung saan talagang ang research is productive o kung saan pinaprioritize ang research. And that is, I think, kung di ako nagkakamali, correct me if I'm wrong, that is University of the Philippines and the De La Salle University. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali po, those 2 schools ang talagang nangunguna in terms of research na nakikipagsabayan in Asia or even in the world. So let's start. Those are just for motivation po. You need to conduct research. It is because bumababa na yung quality ng education that we have here in the Philippines. Why we should conduct research? It is because we're going to patch the gap between what is and what ought to be the ideal part and what is the current situation na hinaharap natin. So, ayan na. So, remember po that this webinar has something to do with the format of the completed action research and the sample contents of the action research. This is not data analysis of researches. This has something to do with the format and sample contents of the action research. I will teach you also on how to make a action research. Let's start. So, format of action research. We have the completed action research. Of course, sa action research, especially if we are conducting or if we are going to participate in the division research, we have different formats. Actually, kung di ako nagkakamali, it is only 12 pages na ipapasa mo. You need to summarize everything about your research or your project that is already conducted. Now, completed action research, the first page will composed of the title na nasa gitna or in the inverted pyramid. We have the authors or the project proponents and project members. And at the middle, you have the abstract or the summarization of your research. And below the abstract, there are keywords. But what are the parts of completed action research? And these are the first, context and rationale or rationale, innovation, intervention and strategy, action research questions, action research methods, participants and or other sources of data and information, data gathering methods, discussion of results and reflection. And the last two parts are, yan, we are facing a technical difficulty. Ano po? Ayun lumabas? May nakikita na po ba kayo? May nakikita na po ba kayo? Pwede po may sumagot? Ayaw po lumabas? Sir Jolan. Hi, sir. Hello po. Sir Jolan. Ayan. And here are the two parts. Ayan, na-late siya. Ano, parang pagpasok ng mga ilan sa atin, laging late. Ano? And the two parts are the action plan and the references. Now, completed action research is different from completed basic research. Ano, when we say completed basic research, this has something to do with survey or perception only. You are getting the mean, the SD, the verbal interpretation, and that's all. Ano, while in completed action research, it has something to do with the experimental research. Ano po, we are developing a material in which ayun yung kinaiba niya sa basic research. Now, the action research. What is an action research? Action research, it is a powerful instrument in making the lives of teachers and learners for teachers and learners becomes easy. Okay, right now, kung mapapansin niyo po sa ating PowerPoint presentation, it is a powerful tool. Why is it powerful? Ano, why is it powerful in terms of teaching and learning? Ano, now, when you are back when you are in a back when you are in the college level, it is very ideal pag nagsasagot ka ng FS mo or ng field study courses mo. May FS1 ka, may FS1 to 6, the field study courses. It is very, very ideal. Diba? But you were so surprised when you are enter the reality. Hindi pala ganun na inaakala mo. So, the main objective of action research is to patch the gap between what is and what ought to be. Now, in making an action research, it includes your observations. Observations. Ano ba yung nakikita mong mali? Ano ba yung nakikita mong may pagkukulang? At doon papasok ang action research. Once na may nakita ka, you can answer the problem with the use of action research. Also, collection and organization of data. Once you observe, you need to collect the data and organize the data. Ano po? Now, after collecting, I forgot to insert the analyze the data. Once you analyze the data, it will show na it has something to do with the present situation. Now, you need to interpret the data gathered for the implication of the data that you have gathered. And of course, you could create findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Now, legal basis of action research. These are just glimpses of the legal basis of action research. The first one is RA 9155, Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, followed by RA number 10533, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act. And the last one is the DO16 series of 2017 or Research Management Guidelines. These are some of those legal bases na makikita ninyo which has something to do with action research. I will no longer read the content of the following Republic Acts that we have and department orders. Ano po? So, let's continue. The conceptualization phase. Ito na tayo. Let's go on with the conceptualization. Planning. Now, you are thinking na may napansin kang mali. Ngayon, paano ka mag-i-start? Sakop ba yan ng jurisdiction mo as a teacher? Pasok ba yan sa kinagalawan mo as a teacher? That's the question. That's the first question. Ikaw ba yung unang naaapektuhan? So inside the school, who are you? That is the first question. Who are you? Are you a floating teacher? Ayan. Maraming makaka-relate sa floating teacher. Maraming makaka-relate sa floating teacher. Now, if you are one of the floating teachers inside the school, what is your problem? Or can you compare your work or your responsibility to the regular teachers? And that's a problem. Is it mas maganda bang floating teacher kaysa sa isang regular teacher? Mas maganda bang ikaw ay reliever? Pag ikaw ay floating teacher, pag walang teacher na iba, ikaw ang ipapasa. Is it a problem to you? Next, are you an advisor? Advisor na kung saan you would like to know what is the best management approach or classroom management approach na bagay sa lahat ng bata. Or ikaw ay kinakaharap mo as a advisor, hindi mo mapanatiling tahimik ang mga bata, and that is a problem as an advisor. And action research will apply on it. So, next one, are you a subject coordinator? Yan. Iba yung floating teacher, the subject coordinator. As a subject coordinator, you would like to have the instructional materials na kung saan it is very different from others, or you would like to apply other materials na kung saan nagamit na sa ibang subject. And that is a problem. Next, teacher coordinator of non-related activities. Ito. Actually, if you are going to enter the public school, we have what we so-called coordinatorship. Coordinatorship na kung saan you are handling a section, you are a subject teacher, of course, and also you have administrative work. Tama po ba ako? Sa mga teachers na narito? Ayan, wait lang po. May sabi po ni Ma'am Annalie Buntag, pwede po ba alisin sa screen yung comment po? Hindi po namin makita kapag mag-screenshot. Ano po? Sir Jolan, paano daw po yung mga comments? Kasama po yun sa EdukTrends yung comments. Ano po? So, ayan. So, the teacher coordinator of non-related activities is the administrative work of teacher affects her or her performance. According to the study conducted by Ahillon 2020, ako ata yun, Ahillon 2020. So, according to the findings that I found out, the administrative work of teachers really affects the performance of learners inside the classroom. Yun po ay sa study ko. And according to different review of related literature and studies na nakuha ko while I am searching for other studies to strengthen my study. Next is, are you a school head? Ayan. Marami siguro po sa inyo ang school head ngayon. Now, what is your problem as a school head today? Marami kayong problema ngayon, mga school head. It is because sa susunod na linggo, you have the school learning continuity plan report. Kailangan mong mag-report. What are the framework for modular distance learning or for online distance learning? Ano ang mga framework na effective para ma-reach out mo o mabigyan mo ng module and links ang mga batang mag-aaral ngayong school year 2020 to 2021. We have a lot of problems today. Pero ginagawan to ng paraan ng Department of Education. I am very proud that I'm part of DepEd Rizal because we are answering the problems of our students. We are making a way para ma-solve namin yung mga problems ng mga bata ngayon. We are on the conceptualization phase. Here, in your level, dapat malaman mo kung ano ang problema mo o ang problema na kinahaharap mo at ng mga co-teachers mo. Now, remember that issue and a problem is different word from each other. When we say issue, ikaw lang. Ikaw lang yung nakakaramdam. Alone ka. Ikaw lang yung may problema doon. Kasi kung hindi naman problema ng iba, although it is an issue in your within you at hindi naman within you, that's an issue. Pero pag ang problem ay pag ang problem, ito yung nararamdaman ng lahat. Nararamdaman ng lahat, and you need to focus with the problem. With the problem, not with the issue. Okay, tignan muna po natin ang mga comments nila. Ayan. Good afternoon po sa lahat ng kabubukas pa lamang. Good afternoon po sa inyo. Now, let us continue. In school, you have a problem. Yung pala, meron pang isa. Meron pang administration. After the school head, we have the administrative body, or we have the people who are supervising the schools. Do you have a problem? Of course, you have. Lahat naman tayo may problema. Inside the school. Kaya nga nandito si Action Research. It will give you the answers. The answers to your problem. It is not only one. Maraming sagot sa inyong problema. Next po, we have the organization and community. Because as a teacher, hindi lang naman school. Hindi lang naman sa school kami may affiliation, o may kinalaman. Also with the organization or the community. Lalo na ngayong pagdating ng school year 2020 to 2021. It is because if you choose, or if your students chose to use the modular distance learning, paano mo maibibigay ang module nila? If that is online distance learning, pinili nila yung online, sa paanong paraan mo mako-communicate ang parents? To give the links? Kung ayan ay sa television, paano sila makakapanood? On what way? On what way? At ang pinakamahirap ngayon kinaharap is about the assessment of learning. Ayan, napakahirap. Let us embrace, or let's have the brainstorming kung paano natin gagawin yun. Now, we have, if you are in the organization or in the community, sometimes we have what we call the honorary members. Honorary members. What do you think is the difference between a member and honorary member? Now, if you are an honorary member, one of your problems is, bakit sila ayaw nila? Ba't ako gusto ko? That's a perception. Remember, that's a basic research. Pero if you are going to make an action research, what specific activity or thing na makakatulong para makahikayat ng ibang mga tao to participate or to become one of the honorary members in our organization. The next one is, are you a member? Tatanungin mo ngayon, what is your problem? Mag-iisip ka kung ano yung mga bagay na nakakaapekto sa mga members na kasama mo. Is it the the leadership role of the leadership skills of your leaders, of your heads? Pwede mong gawin yon. Pwede kang magawa ng isang training program. Next one, we have coordinators. We have presidents, and we have the consultants. In different levels, meron kayong mga hinaharap na mga problema na kailangan nating sagutin. Now, how to write? Yan. How to write? The context and rationale. How to write the context and rationale of the study. Okay, bago po tayong tumuloy, tingnan natin yung mga nagko-comments. Ayan po. Wala naman pong tanong. Sa mga gusto po magtanong, pwede po kayo magtanong. Mag-comment lang po kayo, sasagutin po namin later. Po? So, the context and rationale. How to write the context and rationale of the study. You will start from the macro ideas. Macro ideas down to micro ideas. Ano yun? Baka lagi mo tinatanong, what is macro ideas and what is micro ideas? Para siyang, kung tutuusin natin, if we are going to write the context and rationale, para siyang leveling from the school, district, cluster, division, region, national. Ganun ang pagsusulat ng context and rationale. Dapat applicable yung macro ideas dun sa ginagawa mo. Now, macro ideas, paano tatatag ang context and rationale mo? With the use of these two, the legal basis. The first one is the legal basis. What are the examples of legal basis? Legal basis, katulad ng pinakita ko kanina, it has something to do with Republic Acts, Ordinance, DepEd Orders, DepEd Memorandum, minsan ginagamit na rin natin ang the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. We have also this agenda, I forgot the name, the 2030 agenda na pwede natin gamitin. Also, once you see may ginamit ka, you use the legal basis, kailangan hindi lang isa. Lahat ng may kinalaman sa study mo, you could put it in your context and rationale. Remember, the most important legal basis ang ilalagay mo. Also, para tumibay pa, to strengthen your study, you should have the literature. The review of related literature. Actually, dalawa yan. The first one is review of related literature. You are, pwede nating sabihin na, you are looking to different books. Different books. This is printed. This is printed books, journals, and magazines, and different others. While the other one, you are criticizing or you are synthesizing the review of related studies. These are the conducted researches of other researchers. Now, if you are going to get the findings, you are going to get their conclusions, and now you are going to summarize it or to paraphrase it, to put it in your context and rationale. To make your context and rationale strong pag binasa. Now, this legal basis and literature, once na nabuo mo siya, Napagsama mo ang mga may kinalaman sa isa't isa, now you can go to micro ideas. Micro ideas, pag nabuo mo siya, it will help to create the micro ideas, and then now, makakabuo ka ng your study with the organize and analyze the variables. You are using the review of related literature and study to look for the variables to use. Variables to use. Ayan. So, the next one, okay. Talo na si Sir. Ngayon, sa review of related literature and review of related studies, actually, let us face the reality na talaga napakahirap maghanap, maghalungkat ng mga libro, ng mga journals, sa mga libraries. But that is very useful, ha? That is very useful, yung magbasa ka, because it will, ang tawag dito? It will, the span of your knowledge, talaga namang titibay, talaga namang lalawak ang pangunawa mo. Actually, right now, there are schools na, there are different schools, kung nating lahatin, na talaga namang dapat sila magbasa. Or actually, they are encouraging their researchers to read, and read. Kasi ayun yung maganda eh. Ayun yung maganda. Even if it is conventional, we can say that it's conventional. It is because hindi ka naghahanap sa mga application with ICT. Pero that is very useful, ha? That is very useful. Nung nagkakandak ako ng aking master's thesis, kailangan magbasa. Kailangan magbasa sa library. Now, in looking for review of related literature, pwede tayong gumamit ng mga reference management softwares. Reference management softwares, top 20 reference management softwares aside from Mendeley. Kasi si Mendeley, gamit na gamit si Mendeley. Pagod na si Mendeley. Lagi na lang siya po ang ginagamit ng karamihan. But we can use the following. The EndNote, the EasyBib, Zotero. Ayan, pinaliwanag po sa EdukTrends on how to use the Zotero. We have also the Rubik's Papers. I think that's Rubik's Papers. The Exlibris, the reference works, the paper pile. I will explain how to use, or I will make a demonstration of paper pile on how paano siya gamitin. We have the Saitavi, JobRef, we have the Sourceseed, Cywell, Thomson and Reuters, Kipa, we have Sony Software, Biblioscape, and Sci4Me, and ating 5, Brochure, Sente, Wisdom.I, Citation C, and RefMe. Now, I will show you how to use the paper pile. Ito po yung isa. Ito po, balik tayo. Ito po. Kita nyo ba? Kita nyo po ba sa aking, di ata kita sa monitor? Ayan. We have the paper pile. Kung makikita nyo po, ayan. Ayan po yung paper pile. Ayun. Lumabas na si paper pile. Hindi po yan. Zotero po yung niya. Ayan po. Yan si paper pile. Ayan. I will use the paper pile. Total, nagamit nyo na si Zotero noong nakaraan, I will use the paper pile. Ayan, let me use it first. Then, wait po. Ayan, entire screen. Then let's go to Google Docs. Ayan, si Google Docs. Ayan, habang mag-iintay po tayo kay Google Docs at medyo babagal-bagal din pong internet, sa mga gusto pong mag-sponsor ng internet, kailangan po natin yan sa public schools. So, sa mga mag-sponsor po dyan, baka naman. Baka naman meron kayong may mag-i-sponsor dyan. Ano? So, let's go back with your comments. Ayan, tinitingnan ko po, ano, learn as one PH, parang sa ano yun? Sa Bibal, ano? Learn as one PH. Pero that is very useful. Hintayin po natin. Ayan, nandyan na siya. Ayan na. So, this is your Google Docs. Ayan. We can use one of the reference managers, which is paper file. How to add the paper file in your Google Docs. Okay, ito po. Just click add-ons. Then, wait lang po. Ayan. Get add-ons. Ayan. Punta po kayong add-ons, then get add-ons. Wait lang po. Sir Jolan, okay na ba? Naglalag ba? Okay na po. So, truth po, sir, we need strong internet connection. Very true, Ma'am Neri Sotelo. Ayan po, nagtatanong po si Ma'am Annie Dalida. Actually, ma'am, kakaunti po talaga. Kakaunti po talaga ang nagkakandak ng action research. In a school, kung kayo po ang tatanungin, how many teachers ang nagkakandak ng action research? Ano? Minsan po talaga, in different schools po, ano, iba't iba po yung schools natin. Ano, hindi po pare-pareho. Mga ma'am, mga sir. Sa iba't ibang schools po, minsan isa, dalawa, and that's enough para lang maka-comply. Ano po. Pero we need to. Ayan po. Balik tayo. Medyo para pong tayo. So from add-ons, get add-ons, then lalabas po si search. Nakakasunod po ba dun sa mga iba? Nakakasunod po ba kayo? Yan. So next po, just click with, hanapin nyo po si paper file. Kita po ba ninyo? Ayan po, may nakatype na hindi na po naglalag yung internet ko. Ayan po, so click paper file. So pag na-click niyo po si paper file, ayan po, lalabas na. So dahil po sa akin, naka-install na siya, buksan natin si paper file, the citations and bibliographies. Yan. Ayan, so dahil po naka-install na sa akin, nakalagay po uninstall. So, gawin po niyo, install niyo po, then lalabas na po siya sa inyong Google Docs. Now, meron po tayong add-ons again. Yan po, lalabas na si paper file, then go to manage citations. Yan. Hintayin po natin, ano po, Sarah G, ikot-ikot lang. Medyo matagal yung pag-ikot ni Sarah G dito. Ano? Ayan po, dun po sa mga nag-iintay sa paglabas ng paper file, inaanyayahan ko po kayo munang mag-register sa Magister Servos, which is a CPD training and seminar provider, na kung saan po talaga pong mga kilalang mga researchers sa ibang bansa at dito po sa atin ang nagtotok po roon para po maging bihasa tayo sa paggagawa ng research. Now, tignan po natin kung may nagtatanong. Ano po? Making action research is sometimes difficult. Sharing. Ano daw? Sometimes difficult. Sharing your expertise gives me the idea since it is required to us MT. Very good. Sa mga MT po, sa master teachers, this is one of the requirements. Kailangan po yun. Sir, pwede po bang mas malaki yung screen para ma-view ng maayos? Hindi ko po alam, sir, kung pwede raw pong palakihin. Ayan po, how can we make easy and have an effective action research in this time of pandemic? What are the benefits of action research? Actually, kung benefits po ang hinahanap ninyo, ayun nga po, magkakaroon po kayo ng sagot sa mga problemang nangyayari po ngayon sa inyo. Ano? Nangyayari sa inyo, Also, in terms of pandemic, actually, ang mahirap kasi sa atin to gather the data. Actually, if you have yung ano nga yung survey na nilabas, yung LESF, pwede yung gawing data, pwede natin gawing data, ayun yung magiging data natin pwede natin siyang i-analyze. Ano ba yung best fit modality for the learners? Now, ito na po tayo. We have the Google Docs. For example po, you are looking for academic performance. And academic performance. You are looking for review of related literature and studies about academic performance. Now, ang gawin po natin, copy nyo si academic performance, then dito po, dun sa may arrow, dun po sa may taas, kung dun po sa mga gumagamit ng cellphone at medyo maliit, paste nyo po si academic performance, then click search. Ayan. Magkita-kita po tayo sa Sunday, sa Magister Servo, sa lahat po na nakapag-register na, see you there po. Ano po? Now, ayan po, makikita nyo that awards and, awards and academic performance. Now, this is one of the studies na may kinalaman sa academic performance. Now, gusto mo mabasa. It is because it is bawal mag-plagiarize, bawal kopyahin. Remember, the word paraphrase. The word is paraphrase. Lagi mong ipaparaphrase if you do not want na makasuhan ng plagiarism. Okay, habang umiikot si Sarah Geronimo, tingnan natin ang mga sinasabi niyo. Paper file extension po ba ng Google Chrome, sir? Actually, iba po yung yung Google Web Store. It is an extension, pero makikita nyo po doon, hindi ko po kayo masagot if that is an extension, pero you can search, kung kanina ginawa po natin, mapapalabas nyo po si paper file. Now, let us go back with here. Yan, meron tayong Oxford Scholarship Online. Now, this is the content of the study na kinuha natin na may kinalaman sa academic performance. Now, balik tayo doon. Balik tayo sa Google Docs. Now, naintindihan mo, na i-close mo, nabasa mo yung isang study na may kinalaman sa academic performance. Now, remember, paraphrasing. Hindi po yun pagpapalit ng ng kalimitan po sa atin. Pinapalitan natin ng word that is synonymous to the word na hinahanap natin. Ganun po minsan ng paraphrasing tool. Pero ipaparaphrase po natin. For example, this is just an example. For example, academic performance has something to do with the grades incurred or get by the students there. Get by the students. Now, kung gusto mo na i-cite siya, click mo siya, balik ka doon, click mo, then cite. Dito po sa baba, papasok siya, ayun na siya, si Frey and Gallus 2017. Tandaan po natin yung 10 years na nasa pagkuha ng review of related literature. Actually, sa pagkakaalam ko, if I'm not mistaken, ginagamit siya sa lahat. Ginagamit siya kung saan kailangang 10 years backward yung kukunin mong review of related literature, if I am not mistaken. Ayun po. Ngayon, nakuha mo si Frey and Gallus. Ayan, dalawa siya. Frey and Gallus. But according to research, pag dalawa o higit pa ang ating authors, we could use Frey, i-type mo na lang, then et al, then Tuldok, Kuwait, 2017. Kung sa dulo nyo po ilalagay. Now, gusto mong makuha si bibliography ni Frey and Gallus. Now, go to APA. Nakikita nyo po ba? APA. Cite ulit natin. APA, ayun na siya sa baba. Then, dalawa na siya. Then, update citations and bibliographies. Ayan, habang iniintay natin ang paglabas ni APA, makagain po kami. Mamaya po, Ma'am Lori Ombao, about the action research, mamaya po, papakita ko po sa inyo yung Magister Servus. Ano po? Ayan, lumabas na. Ito na ngayon. Ay. Naputol, I'm sorry po. Ayan, sorry po, nawala. So,
okay.
So, ito na po.
Lumabas na po yung na-cite mo kanina. Dinoble lang po natin. Gawa po ng pagdalawa po ang authors pataas. We should use the word et al. Et al. Then tuldok. Then nahiwalay. Yan. Now, this is your bibliography na nakaayos in the 6th APA, in the 6th edition of American Psychology Association or APA. APA 6th edition.
Ano po? Now, later po, ito po yung nakakatulong po sa atin, nakakapabilis ng paggawa ng research. Pero remember, reading and memorization sa references ng pagkakasunod-sunod ay kailangan. Ano po? Next, ayan po, lumabas na. You have Frey and Gallus 2017. Ayan, we have the citation. Inayos po natin. It is because pag authors ay dalawa pataas, we should use the word et al. At lumabas na rin po yung bibliography. Another, let's try. Academic performance. And then, example, text. Ayan. This is just an example. Now, we have bullying and others academic performance. Tignan mo muna kung may kinalaman sa study mo. Any question po? Sir, nag-e-echo po ang boses nyo. Ano pong gagawin ko? Okay na po ba? Okay, habang umiikot po. Ayan. So, ito na. Ito na yung study mo or yung study na titignan mo na may kinalaman sa iyong action research. Now, na-summarize mo. Balik tayo kay Google Docs. Yan. Cite. Cite natin siya. Ayan. That's Shetjiri 2017. Now, you need to update the citation and bibliography para makita si Shetjiri 2017. Hello po kay Ma'am Joylene. From my co-teacher po from Tadlac Elementary School. Ayan. Okay naman po ang audio. Pakulay po, blue pa. Ano po yung blue pa? Okay po. Ayan. Ayan. Nagtatanong si Sir Al Horteza, ano po ba ang sekreto ninyo, sir, para maengganyo kaming mga guro na gumawa ng action research? Actually, if you are going to conduct research, and that's your innovation, katulad ko po, I am conducting research every year. na kung saan magagamit ng school. Not only me. Actually, that's a intrinsic motivation, not extrinsic. I am not after with the recognition that I could get from the other award-giving bodies outside. But for me, gusto kong maging productive inside the school. Aside from teaching, of course, making an action research. Now, ayan na po, lumabas na. Ito naman po si Shet Giri. Lumabas na po ang kanyang bibliography. Okay po. So, I will stop this right now. Balik po tayo dun sa kabila. Ay. Wait lang po. Ayan, application window, EdukTrends. Medyo may kainitan po, ano? Wait lang po. Ayan na. Okay. From the current slide, ayan. Balik tayo. Tapos na po tayo doon sa context and rationale and review of related literature. Okay, let's continue. Nakikita po ba yan? Next. The last part po ng inyong research should be this. It is a must. The last paragraph, your intention and objective of the study. Why are you conducting your study? Now, remember po, if you're going to participate in a research conference, ito po yung tinitignan nila. Binabasa nila. What is your objective? Ano ba yung goal mo? Why are you conducting the study? Ano po? Actually po, Sir DJ, ang question ni Sir DJ, can everyone do an action research or there are only teachers assigned for the task to do the research? Actually, lahat naman po pwede. To gather data. Ito na po, what specific topic? Later po, sagutin natin isa-isa para po tapusin muna po natin yung presentation. Okay, the next one, innovation, intervention, and strategy. Dito po, maguguluhan po kayo with the word intervention and strategy. Minsan po kung ano-ano po yung nilalagay ng mga teachers para lang po may mailagay sa innovation and strategy. Innovation, intervention, strategy, we are always focusing on experimental research. We are developing materials, development of materials. Now, innovation, in writing the innovation, you should start with the name of the developed material and explain how the material is made, slice up one by one the procedures in developing the material. Excuse me. Next, we have the intervention. As you can see, meron pong tina-target sa gitna. Ayan. Ito sa gitna. Why? It is because once you write the intervention, you should write the objective of the study. the objective of the study, while the strategy, it is the continuation or the extension of the process on how you will address the emergent problem, assuring learning even the learners are not inside the school. Ano po, i-continue sa bahay. Ano po, so innovation, how to write an innovation. The project computer-assisted instruction, this is just an example. The project computer-assisted instruction is made through the use of PowerPoint presentation. The project Kai used pictures in joint photographic experts group or JPEG and graphic interchange format or GIF to make it attractive with a grade for pupils. Enhancing its appearance, the teacher put a timer to get the speed ability of the learners, and at the end, there are questions followed to check the understanding and comprehension of learners. Questions in each slide were under the visual basic application to get the scores and errors of the learners. Speed and correct answers of the learners will determine the reading ability of the learners. Intervention. Dapat makita yung objective ng study. The objective of the study is to determine the effectiveness of Project Kai in enhancing the level of speed and comprehension of grade 4 learners at Tadlac Elementary School during the school year 2020-2021. Strategy to assure learning. The learners have the printed copies of materials in Marungko, Claverian, and Fuller, while the parents were all communicated through PTA, group chat, and SMS for the time for reading at home. Sana po nakuha ninyo po kung paano isulat ang innovation, intervention, and strategy. Now, action research question. Isa-isahin po natin para po malaman nyo. Actually po, nagtatanong si Ma'am Josephine Felicilda, mapopromote ka raw po ba ng without conducting action research? Actually po, if you are going na magpapapromote ka, may mga criteria naman po. So kung hindi ka nag-conduct ng action research, edi zero po kayo din sa criteria ngayon. Ano po? Thank you for additional learning. Thank you din po sa panonood. Now, action research questions. How to create action research questions. Now, I put here my framework for my master's degree program. Ano po? Action research questions. Tandaan po natin, after the word action research questions, we have introductory statement. For example, the study aimed to determine the level of ganito ganyan. At pangalawang sentence, it specifically sought to answer the following questions. Number 1, the first question will pertain to independent variable. Ito pong kulay sa blue. Doon sa blue. Ito po. Yan, may kinalaman siya dito sa blue because this is independent variable. Next, second question pertains to dependent variable. Ito po. Yung dilaw. Yung question number 3 po, or kung may i-add po kayo na, after ng 4, it is statistically made question. Ano po? So if we are going to create action research question for number 1, we are using here in Rizal, we are using the word level. Ano po? So first question will pertain to independent variable. So, what is the productivity? What is the level of productivity of Master of Arts in Education graduates with respect to 1.1 promotion, 1.2 recognition, 1. Recognitions and awards, 1.3 salary, and 1.4 designation. Pangalawa, second question, parents to dependent variable. Kung ano po yung nakikita nyo dun sa yellow, lahat po yun included with the question number 2. Actually, this study is descriptive correlation and documentary analysis. Kung di po ako nagkakamali. Ano po? So the second question pertains to dependent variable. What is the level of performance of schools with respect to school heads' performance? With respect to instructional leadership for teachers, content knowledge and pedagogy, and so on, and learners for academic and non-academic. Next po, yan. Ito naman po, kanina po, ang pinakita ko sa inyo is the IVDV model and output. Ngayon naman po is the ITO. So, in action research, in making the action research question, number 1 po, dito po tayo sa taas, tumingin. If you are going to make a questionnaire checklist, dun tayo sa 1. Dun mo tayo sa input. 1, so what is the level of acceptability of the developed video presentation in teaching mathematics for kindergarten pupils in terms of objectives, content, format and style, and language used? Followed by what is the level of performance of control and experimental groups as revealed by their pre-test and post-test results with respect to the lessons, height, and size. 3, is there a significant difference? Ito na po yung statistically made question. And number 4, ayan po, pwede pong magdagdag, but question number 3 will be made statistically made questions. Next, action research method. Babalik po kayo dito. When we say action research method, it has methods, it has something to do with the process or flow on how you get the data. Ano po? So, participant and other sources. Bibigyan ko po ng KitKat. Who do you think are the participants and where do you think we will the data? Ano po? So, ayan po. And next, data gathering methods. So, ang participants po natin dito ay ang kindergarten pupils. Next, ang ang data gathering methods, we use their pre-test and post-test results. Ano po? Next, action research methods. Participants and other sources. So kung makikita nyo po, ang participants dito are the graduates of Master of Arts in Education and also the school heads, the teachers, and the learners. Ano po? Then, saan natin kukunin ang mga data? Balik tayo dito. For school heads, saan ba makikita ang kanilang performance inside the school? Of course, sa OPCRF. For teachers, IPCRF. And for the learners, we have we have the academic and non-academic. Ano po? Discussion of results and reflection. Okay, ito po yung ginagamit lagi. No, mean. Mean. The most basic central tendency. Now, table 1, computed mean on the level of acceptability of video presentation in teaching mathematics for kindergarten as evaluated by teacher respondents with respect to objectives. Kung matatandaan po natin kanina with respect. Now, sa discussion of results po, bago ka mag-interpret the data, you should have the sentence that presents the table, and also after that table, you should have the table revealed or show. Then after that, interpret the data. Ang pag-i-interpret po ng data is ayun po ay from the highest obtained mean. Isa-isa po, pababa. Ano po? Pababa. So for example, objective number 4 and 5, or objective number 4 suits the pupils' learning abilities, and objective number 5, drive pupils to learn, got a mean of 4.85, which is verbally interpreted as highly acceptable. Followed by by objective number 1, contain clear and specific objectives. Objective number 2, present attainable tasks. Objective number 3 enhances the pupil's interest in the subject. They got the same mean of 4.77, which is verbally interpreted as highly acceptable. After pong interpret the data, you should have its implication. And after the implication, you should have you should support RRL or RRS. Now, in supporting the RRL and RRS, dalawa lang po yung nilalagay, first, it affirms with the study. Or pangalawa, it negates to the study. Ano po? Next one, we have interpreting the data. Now, ito po, di ba dun sa question number 3, we have the statistically made question. Now, when to reject or accept the null hypothesis? Ayan na. Ano na naman si null hypothesis? Mamaya po, mapakita ko sa inyo. Ano po? So, first one, if T computed is greater or higher with a critical value, null hypothesis is rejected and verbally interpreted as significant. If T is less than or lower the critical value, null hypothesis is failed to reject and verbally interpreted as not significant. Now, this is an example of one sample test and the test statistics is equal to 65. Una po natin intindihin muna yon. Intindihin po natin yung nasa loob ng red na box. We have the T which is equal to 1.057 and the degrees of freedom which is 9. This is not a statistics lesson. Remember po, ito po ang kailangan yung intindihin when you are going to enter at kayo po ay magma-master's thesis or mag-action research kasi pwede ilagay ito. Ano? So, kanina, kung si t-value daw po ay mas malaki sa critical value, reject. Kung mas maliit, failed. Okay, ito po yun. Kanina, we have the degrees of freedom 9, yung nakabox po. So, two-tailed test, and we have the alpha of 0.05. Kung titignan po natin, ang karap niya po ay 2.262. The critical value is bigger than the T computed. So, we can say that the null hypothesis should fail to reject and verbally not significant. Ano? Siya po ay not significant. Another po, when to reject the accept or null hypothesis, if the p-value is lower than the level of significance of 0.05, null hypothesis is rejected and verbally interpreted as significant. If the p-value is greater than the level of significance of 0.05, the null hypothesis is failed to reject and verbally interpreted as not significant. Ito po yun. Yun sa SIG, two-tailed. Ang nakalagay po ay 0.318. That is much bigger than 0.05. So we need to the null hypothesis is failed to reject and it is not significant. Another one is this. If the 95% in confidence interval do not cross zero, the lower confidence is positive and the upper confidence is positive, it is significant. If it is negative and positive, that is not significant. Tignan nyo po. This is negative and positive. Lower is negative, the upper is positive. It crosses zero, so that is what? Not significant. Ano po? Next, na po, findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Ano po? Ayan na, magagawa na kayo ng findings, conclusions, and recommendations. And after that, action plan. This is the last two parts, the action plan and references. For the action plan, I have here trust, objectives. Ito po yung ginagamit ko lagi. Trust, objectives, activities and strategies. We have the time frame, persons involved, and performance indicator. Nauna na po yung performance indicator. Should be expressed through percentage. Ayan po. Next one, the different trusts are first, instruction, research, extension, production, physical facilities, administration, laboratories, students development, curriculum, and faculty. Okay po. Ayan po yun. So if you are going to develop material for the students, it is for the students' development or for instruction. Now, objectives. Objectives, the statement should start with a verb. para pong gumagawa kayo ng objective sa ano po, dati sa lesson plan. Ano po? Next, activities and strategies. The activities should be coherent with the objectives. Of course, ano po? Time frame para po siyang Gantt chart of activities. If I am not mistaken, for example po, you will conduct or you will conduct your research or your action research from um, August, first week of August to October 2020. And that's just an example. And the persons involved, be sure that the persons involved with the activities have each task to do. And the last part is the performance indicator should be expressed through percentage. Now, if you're going to create a project, remember to set your performance indicator in a very ano ba, lower, in a very low percentage para ma-attain mo yung objective mo. Ano po? Tapos, next year, dagdagan mo ng objective. Tandaan po natin, in management, we have the short-term strategic goal and long-term strategic goal. The short-term is 3 years. That's 3 years, rather. 3 years, and the long-term is 5 years. Now, the references. Do not rely on reference management applications. All citations must be in hanging indent format with the first line flashed to the left margin and all other lines indented by De Guzman 2011 in his book Research Methodology. Now, journals, magazines, newspapers in print format. Tandaan po yung print format, we have the general form, we have the author. Pag dalawa mahigit pa, kailangan po nating banggitin. Author A, author B, and author C, followed by year, followed by the title of the article, followed by the title of journal, that's name of the journal, and followed by the edition and the pages. Okay po? Next po, ayan po, ang daming nanonood. Ano po? Hello po sa mga nanonood. Thank you to Sir Paulo Martin Aquino. The speaker is indeed has the mastery of his topic. Thank you po. Then, journals, magazine, newspapers in print format. For newspaper with no author and discontinuous pages, we have, nauna yung, of course, the first one is the title of the article, followed by the year, month, and date, and name of the newspaper, and the pages. Okay. Next, may nakita po ako nakakatawa sa comments. Okay po, general form, books, chapter in the books, reports, and etc. For general form, again, you should start with the authors A, authors B, or author B, and author C, followed by the year, followed by the title of the work, location, tutuldo, or colon, publisher. O, balik tayo, baka po may nag-i-screenshot. Ano po? Oo nga, sir, baka naman po pwede pa share ng slides. Okay po. Next po, books. Ito po, continue books, chapter in books, reports, and etc. Author A to author B and author C. Pag-iisa po, di author A lang. Ano po, wala na kayo ilalagay sa author B, author C. Ano po, followed by year, title of the work, location, publisher. Next po, para pong naulit, title of the work, location, publisher. Yan, magazines. Wala, naulit. Ito po, journals, magazines, newspapers, and print format. Ito na po, the last one. Paggamit, this is not, print format. Ito po yung mga nakukuha sa internet. Not print format po to. Again, not print format po. Thank you. And that's the end of my webinar series. Thank you very much sa sa EdukTrends PH. Thank you, Sir Jolan, for the invitation to speak here po. Thank you very much. Any question po? Bukod po sa pagpapashare ng slides. Thank you po. Thank you po, Ma'am Mira Luz Umapas. Thank you po. Nervy Sotelo po. Neri Sotelo. Thank you very much po. Okay po. May nakalimutan po ako to share to you yung Magister Servus po. Ito po. Pwede po bang pakitype na lang po sa Facebook? It is Magister Servus Seminar CPD Training and Seminar Provider. Magister Servus po. We will be having our paper presentation this coming August, if I'm not mistaken, Sir Paulo. Tama po ba? That's August. And we will be having our free webinar series in Magister Servos. Free po siya if you are going to participate in different webinar series that we are going to conduct. Hindi po yun sa akin. I'm just advertising. It is because napakagaling po ng mga speaker at also napaka-accommodating po ng mga owners ng CPD training and seminars na ito. Thank you very much po. Daghang salamat, Fermia Beltran. Thank you po. Thank you, sir. Parang andali gumawa ng action research kapag pinakinggan ang topic mo. Thank you po, Ma'am Florita Katindoy. Hello po sa teacher ko nung high school, Ma'am Rationale Estrella. Thank you very much po. Ay, ito po. What would you prefer, a qualitative or quantitative research? Actually po, I am a quantitative researcher po, pero I am trying to have a qualitative research. It is because not all the topics po ay pwede nating i-conduct with the use of quantitative action research. Actually, if you are going to participate in Magister Servus Training Seminar Provider, you will learn how to create an action research using the qualitative research. Hello po, Sir Jose John Bukal. Kilala po kita. Dati po kita ang co-teacher. Ano po? Sir Paulo. Any question po? Ayan, ano po magandang topic for action research? For Germaline Lozano. Ma'am, tagasan po kayo? Ayan po. Siguro ang magandang webinar series, ang magandang action research ngayon ay gumawa po kayo ng isang, kasi ang problem natin is for assessment, ng isang program or ano po bang tawag dito, program na kung saan maa-assess ang students. They can, pwedeng mag-generate ng certificate and then ipapasa sa teacher. Ngayon, kung hindi kaya ipasa sa teacher, pwede pong through messenger and other applications na makakapagpasa po ng files. Ano po? Thank you po sa inyo. I'm just waiting po for Sir Joland. Sir Joland. Actually, ang mahirap po ngayon is about gathering data, ma'am miraluz, umapas. Actually, ang mahirap po ngayon is to gather data. Pero if you are collaborating and cooperating with your teachers inside the school, siguro po madali. Ano po, Vivian Flores, thank you, Sir Ahillon, for your shared expertise on this topic that can empower po teachers' professional growth. Thank you very much din po, Jocelyn Anyag. Ayan po. Washans. What's that, ma'am? Thank you po. Hello po sa mga co-teachers ko sa Tadlac Elementary School and also to my previous school po, Child Jesus of Prague School, and of course, the District of Cardona, DepEd Rizal. Hello po. Thank you very much po. Alam po, baka po may tanong. Ano po? Wait lang po. Miss Jane Suarez, tatry ko po na makuha niyo po ang soft copy po ng aking presentation. Thank you. Ayan ko na. Thank you, Sir Frems Saivi Alvarado. Thank you very much po. O naman po, Sir ano po ba ito? Alcameron Avila. O naman po, pwede naman po. Wala na pong question. Thank you very much po. I will end my webinar series po. Thank you. Sir DJ, hindi naman po. Sa pag-apply po sa public school, wala pa naman pong action research na nakalagay. Actually, mang malaki po ay yung mga TESDA, no, and the likes, mga semi-seminar. Wait lang, ma. Sir Mary Ann Benliro. Ano po to? Electronic methods. Actually po, ano pong electronic methods ang pinapertain nyo po? Ito po ba ay yung gumamit po ba ng mga reference management? Actually, pwede ko po kayong gumamit basta po magpa-paraphrase po kayo. Wag po ka-copy paste. Ano po? May ethics po ang research. Ano po?
may ethics. Actually, if you are going, again, if you are going to participate in Magister, we are we are expecting you to be there. Marami po kaming isa-share sa inyo. Thank you very much po. Bye-bye.